Hey guys, it's Sam, and today I'm going to talk about my end of the year TBR. So the end of the year is fast approaching, and I realized that I am not going to get all of my reading goals accomplished. I will read the amount of books that I planned on reading, my Goodreads goal. That will definitely happen, and that usually happens. But as far as hitting all of the books that I wanted to read, which you can go and watch my 2021 goals if you don't remember everything from January, that's not all gonna happen. So I decided what is most realistic of those goals, because I make those goals because I want to hit them, you know? What's most realistic now that I'm thinking about it again, because for months there, possibly close to a 6-month stretch, I was so slumpy that I didn't really even think about my reading goals. I was just like, just pick up whatever. So now that I can refocus on that, what do I want to focus on? So here are the short stack of books that I do want to focus on. This is not all of the books that I'm going to read before the end of the year. I'm not planning out my entire TBR. You know, I don't work like that. This is more so just the ones I want to definitely prioritize, and there will be more than this in the list of things I read before the end of the year. So the first book is Lightbringer by Claire Legrand. This is the third and final book in the Imperium trilogy, and this is one that I kept going back and forth on if I want to read an audiobook, if I want to read it in physical copy, whatever. The first two I read on physical copy, but I reread Furyborn on audiobook, so whatever. I finally decided I need to just get the audiobook of Lightbringer because I'm not going to get a physical copy for a long time. So I did that because I had taken a couple of extended car rides back to see like family and stuff, so I was like, that makes sense. So I am about 30% of the way into it as of filming of this video, but I'm putting it in here because I do know that I can go in sort of spurts with audiobooks and just not finish them. Because sometimes I'll listen to podcasts or music in the car or whatever, and I don't drive a lot, so I don't really have the opportunity. So if I'm in the car for an extended amount of time and I'm not in an audiobook mood, not gonna happen. So right now what I'm doing is I'm using my Libby app, which is like a library app, to listen to the audiobook, but I have 2 different library cards from different library systems, and I just keep putting holds out on Lightbringer so that when one inevitably expires, I have the next one lined up, so I'm not just like waiting a long time. It's a whole thing. So hopefully I can get that finished within the next month or so, but that would be finishing a series that I wanted to finish. There were a number of series I wanted to finish, and last year I was comparing my notes from series finished last year versus this year. Last year I finished like 20 series. This year I've only finished 3, which is still more than I thought. But I wanted to wrap up a few more series. It's not as big of a goal as it was last year, so I'm not surprised. But yeah, that's what a lot of this is that we're doing here. So on that note, I also want to read Deck of Omens by Christine Lynn Herman, I think is the author. This is the second book in a duology. I really wish I could have gotten to this during spooky season. If I hadn't had to read Dune for book club, I could have read more spooky books. I should know this about myself. Spooky season always sneaks up on me. Is it sneaks? Sneaks, I think. And I say this every year that I don't get enough spooky books read that I want to, or like books sort of in that, witchy books, or this happens to be like a spooky forest, perfect for Halloween season. I think I read the last book last Halloween season. Maybe I can still read it in November and feel like okay about it, but that's kind of what I'm thinking that I'll end up doing. I think I'll try to get this from the library. I don't know, but I enjoyed the first book. It's full of a bunch of like bisexual disasters, and there's a spooky woods. It's like kind of my thing. So I do plan on finishing up this duology, and that's an easy series to finish, and one of the books series. It was on my 2021 yearly goals kind of thing. The last series I'm planning to finish is the Ryeria Revelations series by Michael J. Sullivan. These are chunks, and as of the filming of this, I have not read the second book yet, but the second book I'm planning to read for Tome Topple, and Tome Topple starts, actually at midnight tonight, but I'm not done with Dune yet, so I do plan on reading the second book during Tome Topple, if not finishing it shortly after Tome Topple, and then reading this book either sometime in November or December. Kit, you were in my lap and then you left and then you immediately turned around to get back in. This is sending mixed signals. I don't really know what it is you want. Can you communicate more effectively, please? But this is the third and final book in the Ryeria Revelations series. Ryeria Revelations, man, I gotta enunciate more. And I'm thinking since I'll be reading the second book, I can easily dive into this one and just like wrap it up so that I don't just put it off for a very long time, which is what I tend to do with installments of series. I always say I don't want to, and then I do, usually because they're big like this. So this way I can just wrap this up. There is a prequel series to this that I eventually want to read, as well as I think like something that comes after, or a companion that's gonna come out. Anyway, I want to wrap this like foundational trilogy up. Then I have a few books where I just want to like catch up on the series. This is all series related pretty much. The first one there being Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. This is another one that I wish I could have at least read during spooky season. It's not necessarily a spooky book, but I feel like that like it fits into that. So I still think it'll carry over into like November and be okay for me. But mostly the reason I want to catch up with this one isn't really because of any particular reason other than I pre-ordered this book. I didn't pre-order anything else this year. I haven't been big on the pre-ordering, but I pre-ordered this because I was like, oh, I'll like read it like as soon as it comes out and it'll be kind of fun. I'll read it with everybody that's reading it, blah, blah, blah. And then I was slumpy and I didn't. So because I pre-ordered this, I do want to finish this year and just catch up. This is chunky, but it's a Cassandra Clare book, you know, like the font is big. I think it'll be fine. I'm a little like, okay, don't put too many big books on this list, which is why I just have this one, which is a YA, and the other one, Heir of Novaron, which is an adult book. Between those two, everything else interspersed between all these books is gonna be shorter stuff. And then lastly, I do plan to catch up on the Monstrous graphic novels. This was something that my patrons and I decided to do one of the months, August or September, maybe, I was doing this. And I got part of the way through my catch up. I did a couple of rereads and then read a few of the new volumes that I hadn't read yet. And since that happened, the 6th volume of Monstrous came out. So I have 3 volumes to read. That's 4, 5, and 6. So I need to purchase those. But these are graphic novels, very easy to read interspersed with other things, which is why I'm not too worried about it, but it would be nice to be officially caught up on at least one of the graphic novel series that I read. And that is it for my end of the year TBR. So comment below, let me know if you have similar plans, kind of things that you're prioritizing before the end of the year. Thank you all for watching and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye.